Tony Robbins says it's not the events that shape our lives, but the beliefs of what those events mean. All my life, I've been a competitive swimmer. And I think it all started when I was 6 months old and my parents threw me in the pool and I made it to the other side and I was hooked. And all those years at those swim meets and practices, my greatest fan was my mother. She was there for every one of them. Now fast forward to my senior year in high school, and it was the state swimming championships in Columbus, Ohio. And we lived in Toledo, Ohio, which was about a 2.5 hour drive to Columbus. On this particular date, when all of us were heading to the meet, there was a freak spring snowstorm, and what started out as a regular drive ended up taking us 8.5 hours. There was 6 feet of snow on the ground. When we finally made it, man, we were done. We were hungry, we were tired, and I had a swim meet the next day, and my event was at 10 in the morning. We got up in the morning and we went to the pool and trudged through the snow, and as I'm warming up, I happened to look up in the stands. Nobody was there. I mean, who goes to a swim meet when there's a blizzard outside, right? But I was warming up and I finally got ready for my event, and I actually got up on the blocks, and I always look straight ahead. I'd visualize my event. I'd visualize every piece of it from the start to the flip turn to the finish. And this particular day, for some reason, I decided to take a look up into the stands. And up at the stands was my mother. She'd driven 8.5 hours in a blizzard to come see me swim. Now, what I didn't tell you is my dad never came to any of those meets. As a matter of fact, I don't remember my dad even ever coming to any of my sporting events at all. But on this particular day, my last high school swim meet, he was with my mom right there in the stands. And I got to tell you, just as I am right now, I started getting the chills. And I then heard the starter say, "Swimmers, take your mark." And I thought, oh my gosh, I got a swim meet. So I grabbed the blocks and I heard the gun go off and I took off. Now I can't tell you what happened in the water, but I can tell you what happened when I hit the wall. I hit the wall hard and I looked to the right and I looked to the left and nobody was there. And then all of a sudden, it seemed like a second and a half actually, everybody showed up. I looked up into the clock and I beat my own time by almost a second, which if you know anything about swimming, you know that's ridiculous. And then I looked up in the stands and there's my mom hugging my dad, and that just never happened. And I started to cry. And you know, I started to think about that moment, because what got me to the fastest time I'd ever had? Was it just because my parents were there? What brought that personal best out of me? It wasn't anything they said. It was just them being there and supporting me that brought me to a level I didn't even know I had. So my question to you is, what's in you? What's in you that you might not even know you have? And also, who's your fan in the stands? That person that gets you to that another level. And better yet, who are you the fan in the stands for? That somebody that just you being there allows them to get their personal best.